These 7 signs are not mere coincidences. They are divine marks that prove you are handpicked by God. You are here for a reason, and this message speaks directly to your soul. Deep in your heart, you've known you were set apart, destined for a path unlike any other. Even in your struggles and tests, you sense a higher calling beckoning you. Imagine if every hardship you faced was not random, but a divine shaping force preparing you for greatness beyond your wildest dreams. The Bible tells us that God selects His own with purpose and precision. Like gold refined in fire, you are being perfected for His work. And how will you know you're chosen? Through clear signs, God's unmistakable fingerprints on your life that transform everything once recognized. As C.S. Lewis insightfully wrote in Mere Christianity, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny, reminding us that every trial is a stepping stone to greatness. No longer will you doubt your purpose or feel lost in this world. Instead, you will step forward with boldness, wealth, and authority as you finally grasp the truth unfolding in your life today. We are about to reveal these 7 mighty signs that prove you are chosen by God, truths that have marked every great servant of God, from Abraham and Moses to David and Paul. If these signs are alive in you, you are far more than just another face in the crowd. You belong to a grander destiny. Before we delve deeper, I urge you to subscribe now so you never miss these life-altering revelations. Remember, you are here for a divine purpose. By the end of this message, you will see your life in a whole new light. Right now, proclaim in the comments, "I believe that God has chosen me for something great." Speak it out loud. You were born different. While others settle for a mundane existence, you crave a life filled with meaning and purpose. Deep inside, you hunger for more than just surviving or chasing wealth. Your restless heart is yearning for a deeper, divine calling because you were created for extraordinary things. In Jeremiah 1:5, God declared, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This means your destiny was ordained before your first breath. Your calling was written in the stars long before you appeared in this world. Yet know this truth: those whom God chooses often face the fiercest struggles because He refines His own. C.S. Lewis, in The Weight of Glory, reminds us, "We are mirrors whose brightness is wholly derived from the sun that shines upon us, showing that our struggles reflect the divine light within." Look to Joseph's life, filled with dreams of greatness, yet betrayed, sold into slavery, and cast into prison. It seemed all was lost, but God was secretly preparing him for a destiny far greater. The setbacks and betrayals in your life are not failures. They are divine signals that God is crafting you for a remarkable future. Have you ever wondered why you don't fit in with the world's shallow pursuits? Why the mere chase for riches and luxury leaves you empty? Your spirit knows there is more to life. You were not created for an ordinary existence. You are chosen to bring light, to influence lives, and to carry God's presence into this dark world. Yet many drown out this divine calling in their endless pursuit of material gain. The truth is, only God's purpose can truly satisfy your soul. That first sign is clear. If you feel an unyielding call for something greater, know it is God's voice urging you toward your destiny. You face fierce spiritual battles because the enemy is threatened by the light within you. Every attack, betrayal, and misfortune is not random. They are signs that you are a danger to the forces of darkness. Consider Joseph once again. God gave him visions of prosperity and rulership, yet his own brothers betrayed him. He was cast into a pit, sold into slavery, and falsely accused. It seemed as if his world was collapsing, but in truth, God was setting him on a path to fulfill his destiny. This is the journey of every chosen soul. The enemy attacks you from unexpected places, sometimes even from those closest to you. You may face rejection, misunderstanding, or relentless challenges. But remember this: if you were not destined for greatness, the enemy would not target you. You face these battles because the enemy fears what you will become if you walk steadfastly with God. Look at Job, a man of great wealth and honor, who lost everything only to be blessed even more by God. The enemy only attacks those who are a threat to his dark plans. As C.S. Lewis wrote in The Weight of Glory, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind, urging you to trust that your future holds divine promise. Every hardship, every moment of pain and trial is a clear sign that God's hand is upon you. Think of the betrayals, financial struggles, and seasons of uncertainty. You must not see these as curses, but as divine confirmations that every battle is preparing you for something magnificent. Each attack is molding and strengthening you for the destiny God has ordained. Do not surrender or doubt your purpose. Let every challenge remind you that you are chosen. As you begin to see these trials as divine training, your perspective shifts. What once seemed like obstacles now become the stepping stones to your destiny. Remember, every great servant of God has been forged in the fire of spiritual warfare. Inside you, there is an unyielding spirit that will never let you stray from God, even in your lowest moments. No matter how deep the temptation, something inside you draws you back. This inner pull is not ordinary. It is a divine mark that God has chosen you. While the world urges you to pursue money and fleeting pleasures, your heart knows there is a cost to compromise your soul. Something within you rejects the empty promises of worldly success. You feel the weight of your actions and cannot settle for sin. This is God's touch on your life. Even David, though anointed to be king, stumbled into grave sins, yet he was still called a man after God's own heart. Why? Because when he faltered, he always returned to God. His spirit refused to be separated from the divine. This is the mark of a chosen one, a heart that cannot ignore the call to righteousness. While many may sin without a care, you are tormented by the disconnect, constantly pulled back to God. God never lets go of those he has chosen. You have felt it yourself, times when you tried to blend in, only to be pulled back by an unseen force. You cannot enjoy the fleeting pleasures of this world without feeling an emptiness, for your soul was crafted for a divine purpose. When God chooses you, his spirit fills you, and nothing worldly can ever satisfy that divine hunger. This is why you feel conviction when others seem carefree. You feel uncomfortable amidst celebrations of worldly excess because you do not belong to this world. You belong to God. Your heart is tuned to a higher truth, and when that conviction strikes, it is not condemnation. It is a holy call back to the path of righteousness. When God convicts you, it is never to shame you, but to lead you back to him. Look at David and Peter. Even when they sinned and faltered, God restored and redeemed them. The enemy would have you believe your failures disqualify you, but your inner conviction is proof that you remain called and chosen. You cannot simply walk away. Even if you wander, you will always be drawn back to God. That is how you know you belong to him. If you feel this truth resonate within you, hit the like button, not as a mere click, but as a powerful declaration that you recognize God's hand in your life. You have experienced supernatural provision when you should have fallen, and that is divine proof. Recall C.S. Lewis from Mere Christianity as he said, "Aim at heaven and you will get earth thrown in," which invite you to keep your eyes on the eternal prize. This is not mere chance. It is divine provision, a clear sign that you are chosen. When God calls you, He provides for you. This does not mean life will be easy or that wealth will rain from the skies, but even in the darkest moments, God ensures you have what you need to keep going. Remember Elijah in 1 Kings 17, when God sent ravens to feed him in the midst of famine. When the brook dried up, God led Elijah to a widow with just a handful of flour and oil, a supply that miraculously never ran out. That is the way God works in the lives of His chosen ones. When it seems there is no way forward, God creates a path. Think of those moments in your own life when you had nothing, yet found a way through. Perhaps you lost a job, yet an unexpected opportunity emerged. When your finances were tight, the perfect amount appeared just when you needed it most. In moments of impossible struggle, doors have opened in miraculous ways. This is not luck. It is God's supernatural provision at work, guiding your steps and protecting you with divine direction. Often God closes the wrong paths so you can be guided to the right ones. He removes toxic influences from your life and shuts doors that would have led to your downfall. Look at Joseph again, sold into slavery and thrown into prison. These setbacks were actually divine maneuvers placing him in the palace of destiny. Every loss was a hidden blessing in disguise. Every setback you face is actually God's provision, masked as hardship. Though it may seem like rejection or failure at first, when you look back, you will see that every misstep led to something better. This is a sign that you are chosen. God's blessings are on your path. God never abandons those He calls. He may test you through trials, but He always makes a way. Those who trust in Him emerge stronger, wiser, and more blessed than ever before. Every step of your journey has been guided by His hand, and you carry not only your burdens, but also the weight of others' struggles. There is a divine difference within you. While others chase after comfort, money, and luxury, you feel a deeper pull, a heaviness for the world's pain. When you witness injustice and suffering, your heart cannot remain untouched. This is not a mere trait. It is a clear sign of God's call upon your life. Consider Nehemiah, living in comfort and privilege, yet he wept when he heard of Jerusalem's broken walls. In Nehemiah 1:4, his heart broke for his people, for he carried the burden of their suffering. A man with all worldly advantages felt such deep sorrow because he was chosen to bear God's burden for the world. You have felt that call too, an urge to help when others ignore the pain around them. You see beyond the surface to the hidden spiritual battles and sufferings that others overlook. Perhaps you have given from your own meager resources or spent nights in prayer for strangers because you are moved by a higher purpose. Perhaps you have been called to lead, serve, or fight for something far greater than yourself, even when logic told you otherwise. This is the unmistakable sign of someone who carries God's heart. Moses, living in the luxury of Pharaoh's palace, could not ignore the cries of his people. His burden was too heavy to be ignored. In time, God called Moses to free millions from slavery. When you are chosen, your spirit cannot rest while others suffer. You understand that true success is not measured by what you accumulate, but by what you give. Though the burden may be heavy and the questions many, your heart knows the cost of remaining indifferent. There will be times when you wonder why God lets you see the world so clearly while others remain blind. Understand this. Your burden is evidence of your calling. God places this weight on those He trusts, on those chosen for a divine mission. If you feel it, then you are part of something far greater than you can imagine, a higher purpose that calls you to act. In the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis wisely noted, "Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point, urging you to remain steadfast." God also separates you from those who do not share your divine vision. Have you ever wondered why some relationships or opportunities vanish without warning? It may seem like rejection, but it is, in fact, God's protection. When you are chosen, He removes the people who are not meant to be part of your journey, just as He did with Moses when He pulled him away from a life of luxury. Moses had to leave behind his status, his connections, and everything familiar before he could embrace his calling. This is how God works. If you are chosen, you cannot remain tied to those who are not aligned with His plan, no matter how deep the bonds may seem. If they do not serve His purpose for you, they will be taken away, sometimes painfully, sometimes slowly. You may notice that relationships once strong now feel empty, and friendships that seemed forever are gone. Perhaps you have felt the sting of loneliness, wondering why God allowed people to leave. But understand this: every person who has walked away was never meant to travel with you on God's path. Their absence is a divine clearing for what is to come. Look at Joseph again, betrayed by his own brothers. Those who should have supported him were the ones who cast him down. Yet, what was meant for evil, God transformed into greatness, leading him to Pharaoh's palace. Some people cannot handle your calling. They are not meant to be part of your next season. In the spirit of C.S. Lewis, who in The Weight of Glory declared, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. Remember that your uniqueness is divine." Every time God removes someone from your life, He is making space for something far greater. If this message speaks to your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. There is someone out there struggling with loss who must understand that this is not rejection. It is divine direction. Remember, though you are attacked, you are never defeated. There were moments when you felt crushed by pressure, loss, and betrayal. Moments when you thought you wouldn't survive. Yet here you are, still standing. That is no accident. The enemy has tried every tactic to stop you, attacking your mind, your wealth, your relationships, and your peace. But through it all, God has upheld you. Reflect on Paul's words in 2 Corinthians 4 verses 8 to 9. "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. This is the life of a chosen one. The storms may rage, and the attacks may come, but they will never break you. You are not fighting these battles alone. When Job lost everything, his family, his wealth, his health, though the enemy sought to destroy him, God restored him with even greater blessings. This is the fate of those who are chosen. The battle is fierce, but God's protection is fiercer still. You have been tempered in the fire and yet stand strong. You have endured trials that would have broken many, yet you remain unbowed. This is because God's hand rests upon you, and no attack can alter His divine plan for you. This is the ultimate sign. You have been attacked, but you are never defeated. If you are still here, know that God's work in you is far from over. If you see these truths reflected in your own life, if you know that God has carried you through battles meant to break you, prepare yourself, because what lies ahead is far greater than what you have left behind. Now that you recognize these signs, what will you do with them? You are not here by accident. God has been calling, refining, and protecting you because you are set apart, chosen by the Almighty. But being chosen is not enough. It is time to act. Will you step into your divine purpose, or will fear hold you back? Will you embrace God's calling or continue to question it? The time for hesitation is over. Every battle you have faced was meant to prepare you for what is coming next. So tell me, what is your next step? Will you commit to seeking God more deeply? Will you lay down your plans, worries and desires to trust that His plan is far greater than anything you could imagine? You were never meant for an ordinary life. You were chosen for something magnificent. If this message has stirred your heart, subscribe now so you never miss another revelation. And if you are ready, click the video on your screen to dive even deeper into your divine purpose. Your journey is only beginning. God has incredible things in store for you.